Hey everybody, Edward Stevens here from the Stevens Group at Reese Nichols, and today I'm here to talk to you, the potential home buyer, about escalation clauses. What are escalation clauses? Why are they important to you when you're putting in offers? And how can they affect whether or not you get your dream home? They are real, they are scary. Stay tuned. So what is an escalation clause? Well, a couple years ago, with the market getting so crazy and buyers putting in offers and not getting houses, buyers have become desperate. And this is not just a Kansas City metro thing. This is a nationwide thing, okay? So with the lack of inventory out in California, parts of Texas, other parts of America, buyers have started to work and brokers have started to work with attorneys to figure out the best way to get an edge over the other buyers to get the home that they need. The escalation clause developed as a result of this. And basically what it says is I'm willing to pay $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, whatever, above the best offer you have in hand. So a buyer is in a multiple offer situation a lot of times, and one of those buyers, or maybe a couple of those buyers, are going to say to their buyer's agent, or they're going to, if they're not represented, they'll say it to the listing agent, I want to be the best offer, so I'm willing to put $1,000 on top of whatever your best offer is. Okay? You've probably seen this offer, but you've seen this happen before. If you go to get your oil changed or something, they say, we will honor our competitors' prices, or Pizza Hut, or whatever. We will honor our competitors' prices. It's the exact same thing. Okay, it is real. There are a lot of people out here that are doing it. Some brokerages don't like it. Some are actually teaching their agents to do it. The important thing is, number one, that you know about it, and two, how to use it, and three, what are the risks when using it. So when should you use an escalation clause? My advice, use them very, very sparingly. And the reason we'll get to in a minute is because listing agents can, if they're good, they can really, really make you feel the pain. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how they can do that. But you should use escalation clauses like the way that a quarterback uses the Hail Mary pass in a football game when it's 4th and 15 and there's 1 second left on the clock. That's not your go-to play, okay? Something has gone wrong in the situation if you are now throwing the Hail Mary into the touchdown and there's, 8 people in the touchdown zone trying to catch that ball. Okay, so you want to have enough tools in your tool belt as a buyer or as a buyer's agent to finesse so that you're not having to do something like this, which is extreme, okay? It's extreme because it's really throwing the money out there, sometimes unnecessarily. Okay, obviously, you're exposing yourself to more financial liability by overbidding on a house. And so let's just get into what the risks are. You know the benefits already, right? If you get it, if it works, you get the house. But let's talk about what your exposure is, okay? Number one, you are probably going to be running into an appraisal problem, or at least there'll be a question about the appraisal. So if you're bidding $5, $10, $15, $20,000 over on a $200,000 house, you're going to be in trouble when it comes time for the appraiser to come out and value the house. The appraiser is also going to get a copy of this contract, and they're going to get a copy of the escalation clause. That's going to tip some appraisers off that already we're looking at a valuation problem, and some appraisers will value the house lower or value it at the original list price just because they see that escalation clause and they're just tipped off. They just know, yep, this person bid $10,000 over. They were desperate. House does not appraise. Okay, so be thinking about that. Number one. Two, not all listing agents will accept or will appreciate your offer that you put in if you're using an escalation clause. Have your buyer's agent, or if you're unrepresented, do this yourself, but I highly recommend you get representation. Have your buyer's agent call the listing agent and see if they will accept something with an escalation clause. And the reason why is some listing agents feel it's slimy, and they feel like if they're asking everybody, let's say there's 5 offers coming in, if they ask everybody to put your best offer in and you use an escalation clause and the other 4 people don't, they may feel, and I have felt this way as a listing agent before, that we really didn't get a solid look, an apples to apples look at everybody's best offer, because you did something that gave you an unfair advantage over the other 4 people who could have also done that, okay? So talk with the listing agent, find out what their perspective is, because they're going to be the influencers talking to the sellers who ultimately make the decision on who gets the house. Make sure you do that. Very critical. Number 3, here's a problem. You're going to look desperate. So number 3, desperation. And anytime you're desperate or you're showing desperation, the listing agent's probably going to make you pay. And they're going to remember that when you go to do your inspections, or maybe if there's an appraisal problem or whatever comes up, you will expect for the rest of the deal to be led around by your nose, pretty much. Some listing agents are going to make you pay for that. And just expect to not have very much leverage for the rest of the deal, because you've kind of showed your cards that you're desperate to get the house by any means necessary. And probably the 4th one, and this is one that I can proudly say as a listing agent I have done with people, is so you are allowed as a listing agent, as long as you're not breaking the law, you're not unethical about it, to get the best price for your seller. That is why the seller hires the listing agent. That's one of the reasons, is to get the top price so that that seller can make the most amount of money possible. Now, if there's an offer on the table that says this person will pay $5,000 higher or more than every other offer that comes in, a smart listing agent will go to the other offers and get the best possible offer they can from the other 4 offers. If there's 5, one's got an escalation clause. They'll go to the other 4 and get the very best one, and then from that best one, they will show the best one to the escalation clause, and then they will get an even better offer. I have done that before, and it's worked well, and it's maximized the amount of money that my sellers have gotten. That's important for you, because you pretty much know that your offer can be shopped, and you're asking for it to be shopped. So just be aware of that. Now, you may be wondering why or how, are you going to know if you're putting in this escalation clause? How are you going to know that the listing agent's not just lying to you and say they have a better offer? Well, they actually have to provide evidence of that. They can maybe black out some of the names of the people on the contract, but they will have to provide some written evidence that there was a better offer that came in. They usually just provide the contract to your buyer's agent, and that's how they determine that there was a better offer that came in. So that way your escalation clause will kick in and become better than the best offer that the listing agent received. So there's not any tomfoolery going on there. You will have written evidence that the listing agent got at least one offer better than yours. Hopefully that makes sense. You do need to know it. You need to understand how to use it, and you have to understand the risks if you want to be a player in today's real estate game as a home buyer. Very, very important. If you have any questions about how to use this or any other techniques, feel free to give me a call, 816-217-8608. That's my personal cell phone number. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you know of somebody who might be interested in seeing this video, feel free to forward it on to them. I'd love to help them out too. Thanks a lot.